Hey guys, Josh here.
And Michelle.
And we are
Adventures Ahead.
coming to you live from the Carnival.
Venezia.
Yes, and we are here today to talk about, is the Carnival Venezia fluffy friendly or fat friendly?
Yeah.
Because we are both people of size and we love to cruise, so we like to give the information that matters to cruisers like us. And I know it eases our minds when we see people talk about different areas of ships or things, and to help us, you know, as being a person of size, you have different worries than other people. So it's good to know that.
We've been on the Carnival Venezia for 10 days now.
Yes, and so we know a lot about this.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the pros, guys. I'm very sorry about that.
So good for people of size.
The pros are decent amount of seating options. Benches, couches, some chairs without arms. I'm going to say that, of course, this is pro and then a con as well, but we're going to get into that at that part.
Well, I would say, like, lots of areas have both options. So things with arms, chairs without arms. And, you know, at least there's options. Some ships, there are not even options.
Yeah, definite. And, so I was always able to find a spot to sit. Now, there are some favorites of mine, and I will list those right now. The atrium has like back benching around that goes around. That is a great place to sit. There's bench seating in the Havana bar, which is not the Havana bar, it's called the Carnival bar and whatever, bar and chill. That has really great bench style seating that I like a lot.
The Heroes bar is pretty great.
The Heroes bar has some bigger couches and bigger chairs. It's awesome. I didn't spend much time on Alito because I didn't care for the chairs out there as much. But those are kind of like my go-to, and I'm like, I'm going to go sit somewhere on a ship. Those are my three areas to go to and just hang out and be in a comfortable area, in my opinion.
The second one is that it was very accommodating in the main dining room to get a table or like a chair with no arms, or we have a friend with mobility issues and we were able to sit close to the door.
Yep. I mean, luckily, we've only had to sit at one table that had chairs with arms, but we said we need a chair with no arms, and they grabbed the chair right away, brought it over for me and Jeff, and it was no issue at all. They literally just grabbed it. So it was really good, and it made me feel more comfortable to go in there. And luckily, every time we've been in there now, we've had chairs with no arms. So it's been really good, and they have a really good option for that there. So I say yes, it was very accommodating.
The next pro is that the hallways in the stateroom areas are very wide. So we haven't had any issues, you know, with carts or anything. Our hallway hasn't had any carts, but even if there was, I think it'd be easy to get around those.
Yeah, and when you're walking down there with people, it's just more room down the hallways with the staterooms. I feel it's really good in my opinion.
We also thought that the size of the ship is pretty manageable.
Yep.
So it doesn't take a ton of time to get from the front to the back or vice versa. And, you know, lots of stuff that we like are on a couple just different floors.
But there is a con to it, and we'll get to that when we get to the cons. But I would say it's pretty manageable. It is a bigger ship, just know that. But I think it is manageable. The next is the elevators. So because you can push how many people are going to be on there. So if you think, well, I'm going to take up the space of 2 people, you hit the button twice. So you know there's enough room for you to get on the elevator with, you know, good enough space. I think I think the elevators are actually a plus in my opinion.
I think that this is the time that we've ridden the most elevators by ourselves.
Yeah.
With the smart elevator system.
Yeah, it's really great.
So our particular stateroom is a deluxe ocean view, and we thought that this was a really good stateroom. It has a couch, and it's pretty, big.
Yeah, I like it. I love a couch for a room. For me, sitting on the bed is not great for me for back support and stuff. And it's just nice to have a place to chill with a couch. And I think that goes into being fluffy friendly. Also, we'll talk about the shower in a minute, but we have a deluxe ocean view, so we actually have a bath in ours as well. Now, it is a high step, believe me. I got to get this big leg up, but I can get it up there. And then stepping out of it's actually easier.
Yeah.
But getting in is fine. I can do it. And that
there's
is,
lots of room in
it
there.
makes it, so much room in there to take a shower. So I think that's a plus. So definitely look at it in a deluxe ocean view. If you can lift your leg up high. I mean, we did do a review on it, so you'll be able to see a full review. Michelle did measurements and everything. You can see that in the video. And yeah, so I think it's a good option.
The last pro we have for fluffy friendly cruising is that there's lots of accessible restrooms.
Yeah, yep.
I like this also because there's actually a switch in the restroom that says whether it's locked or not. So it doesn't, like, it's not a hand wave like some of the Excel class ships.
Right.
So you're for sure locked in there. I haven't seen anybody that hasn't had the door locked and them get walked in.
Right. So there's normal bathrooms, which are pretty spacious, I think.
Oh yeah, I think they're good size.
I think the stalls are really good size. Normal stalls, not handicap, are very nice size. I like that. Also, but sometimes I will say there's only one stall in a lot of the bathrooms.
in the men's room.
Yeah, in the men's rooms.
Sure.
And in other ships there's 2 or 3. You know what I mean? But the other thing I will say, the handicap bathrooms are insane, crazy, huge. I love it. So sometimes I'll just use that real quick. I don't try to be in there a long time or nothing, but I will use that instead. So
that's our pros, and now we're gonna move on to the cons for fluffy cruisers.
some
areas have lots of chairs with
arms. Yes.
So like, even though there are some options for like, let's say the gondola lounge
is basically all arms.
it's mostly armchairs.
Yeah, I would say 80% armchairs.
Yeah, I'd also say the theater on this ship is mostly arms.
Yep. And also, I would say the atrium has a ton of armchairs, but they do have the bench, which saves
Which is great
you.
options.
Yes. You're kind of out of it, though, but yeah, it's still, you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the... And then, of course, in the main dining room, there's chairs. So there's different chairs with arms. There's like ones that are like round. That so if you do have a little bit of stuff, you may be able to fit in those. You fit in those.
Yeah.
But then they have the ones with like straight arms, which those are harder to fit in. Then of course they have chairs with just no arms.
Yeah.
So I would say overall it's pretty good, but these are the areas that you are going to find some with arms.
Yeah, you might have to make some adjustments there.
The biggest thing for us is the theater.
Yeah.
That's like a no-go for me. Michelle can fit.
Yep.
I cannot. So that's just the main issue.
There are
with me.
some options, but very, very limited.
So you got to get there. So we'll see.
The next con we have are the casino chairs. So this casino has the standard, like what they're doing with new ships, the armed chairs. And those are only 19 inches wide. And they're also pretty heavy.
I see people that are like thinner complain about these chairs constantly.
Yeah.
Because they're too hard to move. Not that they can't fit in them.
Yeah.
Is that they're hard to move.
I usually like move my chair in with my foot, and I've done that a couple times, and I've really like actually hurt my ankle doing that, so I can't do that.
And I'm telling you, sometimes I fit in some better than, because I think some get stretched out, the arms. So some I fit in a little bit better than the others, but yeah, the casino chairs are horrible. I'm thankful the next several cruises will not have those chairs.
Yeah, the other thing about the casino is it's pretty tight when there are people sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I find myself having to walk through, like,
maze.
around a whole area to get to something that I want to get
Yeah,
to.
because when you go through the aisle, like, I mean, with people in the chairs, it makes about this much room. Like, you could, I mean, it'd be hard for a skinny person to get through there.
Yeah, it is in smoking and non-smoking casino.
Yes.
The next con that we have are that there are crowded areas. So like the Lido area has some crowded like walkways. The deli's hard to get through just because of how it's positioned.
Yep.
And then also on decks 4 and 5 where there are shops, it can just be really congested and hard to get through because there's boulders and things. So that's just something that we've run into a little bit too.
Yeah, a little bit tighter in those busy areas. But, you know, you can find your way around. Don't use the most direct. Sometimes the most direct way through isn't the best way when you're bigger. So you find a way, believe me. So
the next con that we have is the shower in this
yeah.
room. And I think in other staterooms also. We're thankful to have the bathtub that we told you about.
And I get this leg up, believe me.
But the shower is quite narrow.
Yeah.
So we have a whole video on the shower. I did take a shower in there for research purposes, and it was okay. I don't know how I would shave my legs.
I think it's just tighter.
It's just really...
It's just the way, and they have a handle in there that makes it tighter.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's just a tighter shower.
It wouldn't be my first choice.
I could take a shower in there, but it'd be hard. But I could do it.
Oh.
And we've had friends that are also bigger on the ship, and they said it's a tight fit for them.
Oh, yeah. Yep, so I think, like, just know that going into it.
Suggest to have a room in the middle of the ship or the back of the ship if you're gonna. Now, the reason why we say that because we're in the front, and it's a little bit of a jog to get to the main dining room and some of the food options. So if you have, if your mobility is really limited, definitely book in the back of the ship. Because the MDR is back there, and food options are back there.
Yeah, yep, the Lido is basically back there.
Yeah, or the middle.
Yeah, it's just better to be there because we do have to walk all the way from the front to the back to get to food options.
Yes, so just know that.
And then the last con we have, I'll let Josh take.
It is, now, the floors we found have been a little bit slippery. So if you have balancing issues, or just, can be clumsy sometimes, I would say just watch out because that's me. Like I can slip sometimes. And it wasn't like somebody spilled something. It's like, because it's so humid out, it falls down and it makes I would say the most slippery spots are where it's like this fake wood or tile. And it's slippery, man. I just got to be careful.
Yeah.
But you can get quite slippery. Just letting you guys know that.
Yeah, I went to a silent disco party last night, and the Lido was pretty slippery, actually.
I would say overall, though, this ship is more pros than cons.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, I really enjoyed this ship a lot. So I would check it out yourselves.
Yeah, I'd say overall it was good, and there was more options than what I've seen on other ships. Honestly.
If you have any other questions about the Carnival of Venezia, hit us up below.
Yeah.
Also, like, comment, subscribe. And, Michelle, what else?
Join our Facebook group, Adventures at Cruising Group. We have a lot of fun over there. And you can also ask questions over there.
Yep. Come be a part of the page.
All right.
And in the YouTube.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.